Hi, this is Aaron and Linda with Traveling Flamingo, and tell me if you heard this one before, but there's more cruises canceled. We'll tell you all about that coming right up.
Royal Caribbean Cruise Limited came out on May 20th with another announcement of continuing their global suspension. So prior to this announcement on May 20th, they were hoping to resume cruising on June 11th. On May 20th, we have heard that that has been extended. And again, focusing on crew safety, passenger safety, making sure all of that is figured out before they start up again. And we do know that they've been talking with the CDC and other government officials to make sure everything is safe. So the new announcement is that they will not be sailing through July 31st inclusive. So they are now hoping to start cruising on August 1st.
And if you did have a cruise, so we had a cruise booked that has been canceled, ours was on June 11th, they will be sending you an email and you will get 125% future cruise credit, or you will get your money back. So you can choose which way you go. So if you do decide to go with a future cruise credit, that needs to be used by April 30th, 2022. So you'll have to book your cruise by then. And if you don't want to wait on hold, feel free, you don't have to call. If you want to get your money back, there's a 3-step online process, and you can opt to get your money back through that process. It does take some processing time. You can expect your refund within 45 days. So probably longer than more people might want, but at least you can get your money back. So we'll have links to all of this in the comment section.
Yeah, something that I thought was interesting, because when cancellations first were coming out in March, the extension that you can use this cruise credit until the year 2022 is huge. And you also have until December 31st, 2021 to book it. So they're giving you quite a bit of flexibility, not rushing anybody to be on a cruise this year or even next year. They've really extended that. And this doesn't just affect Royal Caribbean, because it's a Royal Caribbean Cruise Limited, so their parent company. It also affects Celebrity, Azamara, and the Silversea Cruises. We'll go into some more detail on some of those.
Yeah, so overall we decided to take the future cruise credit because we're going to be sailing again. We're not exactly sure when yet, but we decided to go with the future cruise credit, and we'll just book again with Royal another time. Hopefully the prices go down. So another one that has extended cancellations is Virgin Voyages. So this is the brand new ship from Virgin Voyages, which was the Richard Branson Virgin brand. That's the Scarlet Lady ship. They've actually stopped sailing altogether, at least for most of October. So they're going to be resuming sailing October 16th. So that's a pretty big amount of time that they've decided to take off, especially for a brand new ship. A bad time to launch a new ship brand, I guess. But if you're on any of the Virgin Voyages cruises, they're not sailing until October 16th.
And as we were saying, Silverseas, which is part of the Royal Caribbean brand, it was really interesting because clearly we've been looking a lot into this, and we went to their website and I couldn't find anything about COVID-19. I'm okay at searching. Aaron is much better than me. He is far better, but I can figure out a cruise website. I couldn't find anything. I had to go back and specifically put in Silversea Cruises COVID-19, and then a page came up. And that was really interesting, because if you want to check out another video we did about Carnival, the U.S. Department of Transportation and Infrastructure had sent Carnival a pretty scathing letter about their practices and how they haven't been focusing enough on safety and health. And anyway, check out that video if you want to know more about that. But one of the criticisms was that their websites were sort of romanticizing cruising, and they were still looking at people like having dinners and on excursions rather than focusing on the health side. So I thought that was really interesting when you go to Silversea's website, that they aren't, I don't think, talking about COVID as much as maybe other cruise lines are.
Also, just to let you know, we have sources for all of this information in our comments section that'll be pinned to this. The reason for that is just so you can see whatever press releases you want. We know we usually show them here on the video, but you might want to see it in your own time or track those websites. So feel free to check out those sources, and we'll continue to put those in with all of our news videos. Norwegian Cruise Lines. We know we've got a lot of Norwegian fans out there. On May 20th, they also decided to extend their voluntary suspension to July 31st. They are offering as well 125% future cruise credit If your cruise was between March 18th and July 31st, then you're eligible for the 125%. And right now they have another incentive going on for your future cruise credit. If you book before May 31st, 2020, you will get an extra 20% off. So that's nice. You get 125% off. And if you do rebook shortly, you get another 20% off of that as well. So if you do have a Norwegian cruise, take a look at what they've got going on, because you might be able to get a good discount on a future cruise.
And also Carnival Cruise Line, their last extension was on May 4th, but they did go pretty far. And as I said, we have a video that breaks that down, but they have on that May 4th extended their suspension until July 31st. So they're already until then. And they're actually, some ports and locations are different than others, so you will want to either check out that video or go to their website, because for example, San Francisco, they're not cruising from at all this year. So that you may want to check that out.
So MSC Cruises is currently, all cruises are suspended until July 10th. So if you are on an MSC cruise, you're not going to be going until July 10th, July 11th.
Crystal Cruise Line, their Crystal Symphony is canceled all cruises until the end of July. Crystal Serenity Voyages have suspended theirs until August 30th. And the Crystal Yacht Cruises has canceled their sailings through to and including August 2nd.
Viking Cruise Lines canceled sailings through and including June 30th. And as other cruise lines have extended their cancellations, we imagine Viking probably will too. They were very conservative with their first one. They came out to June 30th, like right off the bat. So I assume we'll see another one from them that's probably also somewhat conservative in when they reopen.
And we've been having a lot of discussions looking at the cruise line, and also as other areas of the world and activities open up. Disney Springs opened up last week. Universal has come out with an announcement, and they did break down very specifically. The restaurant capacity is only 30%. Now there are some state rules around this as well. And so we're just thinking, like, I haven't received enough specifics from the cruise lines yet. Some cruise lines do say on their website, hey, we're adding more hand sanitizing stations. We're going to be doing more disinfecting. But like, are you still going to be at full capacity? Like, I just sort of feel that, yeah, we need more specifics. People are going to want more specifics, I think, before they keep rebooking. And it would be interested to know how many people are taking the future cruise credit and how many people just want their money back because they don't have these specifics.
Yeah, I think, until they start talking about these specifics, I don't think it's really likely that many of them are going to open up yet. On top of that, some of the ports have said that they're not going to be opening. Some of them have. Obviously, a lot of these ports are tourist ports, so I would expect that most of the very tourist ports are going to have to reopen just because they're going to want that business. On the flip side, ports that are probably not very tourist, so when you think of things like London or England, I should say, or places, like Norway and so forth, they may not, because the travel industry is not as linked to their, to sort of the profit of the country. So, I think you're going to see things like the Caribbean and so forth open up first, and then you're going to start seeing others. But there's not much going on in terms of news about that, and there isn't much news coming out of the cruise lines around what they're going to do. Some are saying they're not going to do buffets. Some are saying they are going to do buffets. So,
And there's no official press release about that.
Yeah.
Like, there was a virtual coffee had by a Royal Caribbean CEO, but I'm like, I'm not taking some dude's review of this virtual coffee. Like, even finding that and finding the information from them, I think they just haven't decided yet. And yeah, they're going to have to keep pushing this date until they have some firm specifics. And you may still see, and in discussion with our friends and family, the idea around cruising, because there isn't those specifics, they're very uncomfortable with it. So,
and it's going to take a while for them to actually reopen up these ships, because you need to get the staff back. You need to, I'm sure there's stuff they're going to have to do on these ships to get them going again, just like the airplanes that have been sitting around. So it's not going to happen just tomorrow. So I think you're going to see a lot more of these cancellations coming. My expectation is most of the summer cruising is not going to happen, and we're sort of TBD for the rest of that. So it's unfortunate we're not getting on cruise ships anytime soon, but on the flip side, I guess let's all be safe and let's make sure that we're, following whatever guidelines are in place for wherever you live. Well, we hope you've been enjoying this new format of news. Right now, since we're not really getting on any cruise ships, this is a bit easier for us because we can't necessarily review a cruise ship or review an itinerary. And there's so much going on with news, and it's changing so frequently that we thought this would be useful. If anybody watches our Disney stuff, we're doing something similar there. However, we do have a bunch of content still from Disney, so you can expect to see those coming up. and hopefully we'll be back in the parks and or on cruise ships, and we can get some more fresh content for everybody.
So thanks so much for watching. We really do hope that you found this video informative. We will do our best to keep you guys updated as well on the updates that are coming around cruising, because it is changing, you know, almost weekly. So we'll keep you up on that. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Thank you to everybody in our Traveling Flamingo family who are still supporting us. We really appreciate that. And stay safe. Happy travels.